Welcome back to MidPoint. Welcome also back, Newsmax Deputy Health Editor Nick Tate, who joins us. We've teased this throughout the hour here, so let's get on with this now. Multitasking, lowering IQ. Now, we have to be very careful here because something may happen technically, because everybody in the control room multitasks, does about 9 things at once, so they're all concerned about what you're about to say.
Listen, some people have a facility for multitasking, but the truth is, in the lifestyle we lead, we're texting, we're on the cell phones, we're with the iPad, we're watching television, we're with the computer. What that does is it fritzes the brain. And research out of the University of London found that, in fact, multitasking can lower your IQ by as much as 15 points.
But is that because you're not focusing?
Yes.
There
yes.
you go.
That's exactly right. It takes the focus away. And if you already have a problem focusing, not because you have adult ADD, but if you just have a hard time concentrating, this is not going to help you. So the recommendation is do one thing at one time. The thing I'll point out, the finding that I liked, is that multitasking can have an effect on your ability to focus as much as smoking marijuana or staying up all night. So there you go. Take notes. Focus on
I'm
that
sorry,
one
I was
thing.
busy doing something else. I apologize. Let's go on now. Women live long. Well, we've known this for a while. Women live longer than men. So
That's
what's
right.
new in the study?
Well, what we now know is why. The new study, the new numbers that just came out from CDC, I'm checking the numbers. We live about 78 years as a typical lifespan for most Americans. Women live about 5 years longer than men, and there are 5 reasons why they think that's true. First of all, women in utero tend to survive infections better than males. Women are less likely to be daredevils. Unintentional injuries are the 3rd leading cause of death in young men. It's number 6 for women. They are more likely to succumb to heart disease later in life, women are, because of protective effects of estrogen. And women have stronger social ties than men, and they also take better care of their health. They're more likely to see a doctor. So, you know, without being silly, the old Harry Belafonte song, "The Women Are Smarter," is certainly true when it applies to health and healthcare.
We forgot number 6 in that one.
And that is?
Spite. And finally, about the minute or so that we have left here, sitting and smoking are pretty much the same thing. This makes a lot of sense because when you're sitting, you're not moving, and it doesn't help your body any.
That's right. What the research shows is that sitting, sedentary lifestyles, contributes to about 1 in every 6 deaths. This is because it leads to obesity. Obesity leads to heart disease, diabetes, certain cancers that cost the U.S. about $150 billion in healthcare costs. So the idea is not get to the gym once a day, if you can do that, but get up and walk around every hour. If you have a text message or an email message, get up and walk to the next office to talk to a colleague. Anything you can do to stand and move is really helpful.
It's about blood flow too, right?
It's about circulation, it's about calorie burn, it's about keeping the weight down. So what they found is even people who go to the gym regularly, if they spend 8 to 10 hours sitting, they're going to be in trouble. So you have to kind of get up and move around. We should do this standing. We should do this walking, maybe, perhaps.
We are going to, as a matter of fact, the next time we do this, we're going to just stand here at the desk and do that from now on, because now you've just absolutely scared the bejesus out of everybody here who sits for a living. That's okay. Nick, always a pleasure to have you on the show, my friend.
My pleasure.
Thanks so much for teaching us how to live a little better. Be sure to go now to healthradarnow.com to get your special offer on the Obamacare Survival Book, something we do talk about quite frankly. Coming down to the final days to the midterms, our new countdown to the midterms this time looks at the race for the Senate in one state where it certainly is up for grabs.
South Dakota is a red state when it comes to picking presidents and governors. That's not always the case when it comes to congressmen. But with Democratic Senator Tim Johnson retiring this year, Republicans saw a chance for a victory. The party needs to pick up 6 Senate seats to shift the balance of power their way. The GOP candidate, popular former South Dakota Governor Mike Rounds. Rounds went into the race favored to win, but he's run into trouble, namely former Republican Senator Larry Pressler. Pressler is running as an independent, which has made it hard for Rounds to rally the conservative vote wholly around him. Rounds did, however, recently pick up an endorsement from the Tea Party. Then there's the Democratic challenger, Rick Weiland. Weiland is no stranger to politics, but his campaign is a bit untraditional. Weiland recently produced a country music video and is often seen pulling out his guitar to serenade crowds at campaign rallies. Weiland is keeping the race incredibly close, trailing Rounds by only a couple of points in the polls. Pressler is running a close third, though a recent Survey USA poll puts Pressler ahead of Weiland. Pressler hasn't said which party he would caucus with should he pull out the win.